been a while since I've had this guy out, but there are certain parts of the land where the grass is just getting so long. It's about 2 foot tall in places, and it's becoming a bit of a nuisance because every time you want to walk the dogs through it or you want to do some work, everything, including myself up to the knee, gets drenched. So I really need to take care of it, and there's certain parts of the land that's just too bumpy for a lawnmower. We are getting a bit more serious now with the prospect of getting some sheep, but the whole property needs fencing before we can do that. And in the meantime, we just need to use what tools we have. So the trusty strimmer is getting put to some use. It's filthy. It's not really been used since before the summer, so I think it could do with a good clean at some point, but right now I just want to press on and try and tackle as many areas as possible. So I'm just stopping to refuel. It's not going too badly so far, but one thing I wanted to show you is making it pretty uncomfortable. I stored my visor in a box over the summer, and obviously something has gone on top of it and squished it. So the visor is now wonky. So I'm currently working with my nose squished to the side, but what can you do? I'll have to buy a new one next time I'm in the city. As per usual, this is a job that takes a lot longer than you think it's going to take, even though I've done it many times before. But yeah, as you can see, I'm only cutting it roughly, and that's basically just because I only want it a little bit shorter, just so when we walk in Wellington boots, we don't get wet knees. At the moment, our wellies really aren't serving much of a purpose because the grass is so long. Also, because Poppy is so small, you whistle for her, she comes running through the long grass, and when she comes out, it looks like we no longer have a pet dog, but we have a pet rat that's just come out of the sewer. She is drenched, so it will make life much easier if we don't have to go through that rigmarole every morning. So I'm going to keep going now until the light disappears, and then I'm going to pick it back up again and get it finished early doors tomorrow. So I've been back at it again this morning with the strimmer, and now all the longest grass is now not short, but short-ish, which is what we wanted, and it's all looking nice and lush. The sun has got his hat on, so it's nicely drying out all of the cut grass on top of it. Hopefully the wind will blow some of that away as well, so it's not just all sitting on top of the cut grass and suffocating what's underneath it. But now that's complete, it's on to the next project this week, which is this. If you watched the videos maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we started this. This is to be our nice little rustic stone fire pit, because when we trim the olive trees and the other trees we have on the property as well, there is so much to burn. We want to get a chipper a bit further down the line, but right now we don't have it, so burning is kind of the only option we have. But last time when we were working on it, we kind of just roughly laid them out where we wanted them to go, just dry, no mortar, and then basically the weather got horrendous and there was flooding and we couldn't finish it. So the plan of action is to get the cement mixer, get mixing up some mortar, and yeah, start bedding these in to where hopefully it'll be their final resting place. going easy on myself, starting on the backside, because if I make a bit of a pig's ear of this, it's not the end of the world because nobody's really going to see it. I apologise because I've not really done much filming whilst I've been doing this, because to be honest I've just been concentrating so hard. I've done pointing with stone before, I've done lots of pointing with brick before, I've built a brick wall before, but I've never built with stone, you know, from the ground up. So this is definitely a new challenge for me. To be honest, I'm glad that I haven't been filming that much, because I can imagine I was pulling some horrendous faces. Do any of you pull any faces when you concentrate? I'm just reflecting whilst I'm having a brew break. I think first of all, I made the mix too wet. I purposefully tried to make it a little bit wet because I knew, as you can see, it's getting towards the end of the day and I was gonna have to leave this overnight before brushing it. So I thought if I made it a bit wetter, it's gonna slow it down a bit and it'll buy me some time until tomorrow. But I think I made it that little bit too wet. So I'm gonna amend that on the next mix. Secondly, I've got a little bit of regret the fact that we laid these out dry, because obviously everything will fit together perfectly dry, but now when I put mortar in between, there's some spaces where there's not room anymore, so I'm really having to jiggle a lot of things around, which is making things difficult. And my final thought for the day, building with stone is tricky. Hats off to all you stonemasons out there, because hopefully mine will get better with time, but yeah, it's very difficult, so cheers to you.
Just gonna take Ricky some coffee and check on the progress.
It's going okay. It's some of the areas from yesterday have dried out nicely now, so I've brushed them and they look good.
They do look good.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, but it's just starting to get really difficult, like here, because now there's so many stones making it up that I'm having to deconstruct so much of it, and it's getting hard to actually get everything back in the position it was, so it's taking a bit longer than I thought it would. Oh, the sun is nice.
Yeah. Is there anything I can help with on the stonework at the moment?
I don't know. It would be really good if we could both do it, but I think the reality is, because of the way it's panning out, if we were to work in separate directions, I think we're going to reach a point where it doesn't fit anymore.
Fair enough.
Also, some of those bigger stones that are on the bottom, I don't think you'd be able to lift them up.
No, I remember trying to carry them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I might crack on with some tree pruning.
Prune away.
Okay. One of the things that we most liked about this particular property when we came to view it first was that it had so many mature fruit trees. Oh, come here. Hello, Bob. Okay, Poppy's come to visit. Oh no. Go on. Go on. Ah, crazy, crazy dog. as I was saying, when we came to view this property, unlike many that we saw before, this one had really established fruit trees. But in the past they haven't been pruned very well, and as a result they're not always that productive. So today's mission is to at least make a start and to prune up some of our pear, quince, maybe fig. I'll see how I get on. Apparently the thing with quince is that you kind of have to thin it out, so that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. Oh gosh. There for this one. There are so many new shoots on it, and I don't really, oh gosh, I'm caught. I don't really know when to stop, to be honest. I want to leave some of the new shoots on just because some of the older ones I know are not productive, so I have trimmed those ones back, but I don't want to overdo it and potentially not leave the bush enough of its energy to actually produce fruit. So I've been relatively conservative, but it's definitely looking a lot healthier now anyway. I just popped up to the barn to give the tools a wash off in some alcohol, just to stop any chance of spreading any potential disease off of the old quince bush onto these 3 of our pear trees. As you can maybe just about make out in the background, all 3 of them have currently got Bart Simpson style hairdos. I think that's from some incorrect pruning in the past, so I'm going to do my best to try and sort that situation out. But you can only do, I think, between 10 and 20% trimming of the overall size each winter. So I'll do my best. Let's see how it goes. Can't lie, it feels pretty high up here. I'm not the best with heights, so I'm being brave.
Whoa, it's chilly out here.
Not for those who climb trees.
Yeah.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, it looks good. Nice and round, mushroomy.
You're a fun guy. Hey, puppy. Do you like my work?
I do like your work. It's very, very nearly dark. Do you want to call it a day?
Yeah, I think so.
Walk the dogs and get you clean.
Okay.
Right, so we are just doing a recce down our freshly laid track to the tiny house, which is now finished. And the reason for the recce is we're just giving it one little final check before we drive down the track for the first time.
And hopefully back again.
Yeah. So we're just trying to work out what to do in this space behind us, which is essentially where the car will turn around, because we didn't have enough to make any sort of turning circle. Getting wrapped up here with Poppy on her lead. One of our neighbours is having a fire, so we're just keeping the dogs on a lead just to make sure they're not a nuisance. So yeah, the track comes to a point kind of where we finished up by the side of the house, but yeah, we don't know what to do with the turning circle. In the end, that area is going to be gravelled for cars to park. And we kind of just don't want to spend a load of money to put down something that's going to be temporary. Yeah. So for now, I'm going to have to turn around on the grass, but we're just trying to find somewhere that's a bit harder, but it's pretty tough at the moment, isn't it?
It is, and it's dried out a lot since we drove it the first time.
Yeah. Well, Victoria, that was a bit sketchier than I thought it was going to be. It's not perfect, but it's a start. You know, I think the more we whiz up and down it and we compact it, the track's going to widen a bit. It's fine for the most part. There's just a couple of sections, especially on the bends, where kind of the tyres don't fit perfectly. I think we'll go up and down it a few more times and flatten it and get it nice and hard. I think in the future maybe what we'll do is dump a load more in the middle section between the two tracks and effectively just make a thin little road down to the tiny house.
The most important question is, what did Poppy and Teddy think? Not keen.